So thank you so much for joining us for our virtual accepted student reception. We are so excited that you are joining us from all over the US and the world. My name is Alexa Gasky, and I'm an Assistant Director of Admission here at Gonzaga and one of your hosts for the evening. You may have noticed that we are also recording this webinar, so for those that are unable to attend or as well for you to view later, that'll be posted on our website. We would love to answer all of your questions throughout the presentation, so please utilize the Q&A function, and we have some colleagues who will introduce themselves shortly, answer those, and then of course we'll also be able to answer some of them live. I do want to stress that we will only be answering questions through the Q&A and not the chat, and we're going to try our best to get through as many questions as we can. So today, again, as I mentioned, we have several of my colleagues in admission and financial aid. So we're going to go ahead and go around and introduce ourselves, starting with Steve.
Hey, everybody. Congratulations on being admitted to Gonzaga University. I'm Steve Keller. I'm the Senior Director of Admission here at GU. Sandra?
Sorry, my mute wasn't working. Hi, everyone. My name is Sandra. I'm an Assistant Director of Admission here at Gonzaga. I'm also our Campus Visit Coordinator. I'm going to be helping answer some questions in the Q&A throughout the evening, as well as introducing you to some of our students later on.
Awesome. And I'm going to be helping Sandra. My name is Aaron Danowski. I'm a senior admission counselor in our office, mostly work with Oregon and Washington students. Really excited to have you all joining us today, and I'll be active in the chat. So if you have questions or things, feel free to put those in there. We're excited to be connecting with you all.
And hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Everett, and I'm the Dean of Student Financial Services, which includes financial aid. So I am here to help do my best to answer financial aid questions and share a little bit about where we're at in the process. So nice to see you all.
Awesome, thank you. So as we said, as questions come up, please feel free to put them in the Q&A, and we'll also be sharing some helpful links in the chat throughout. Before we get into the presentation, of course, we want to say a huge congratulations to all of our accepted students. You are such a remarkable group of scholars from all over the US and quite a few countries. You students have an average unweighted GPA of a 3.72 and are multi-talented with experiences in art, music, athletics, writing, dance, scouts, debate, theater, robotics, part-time work, serving your communities, and so much more. So getting started now, founded in 1887, Gonzaga is a private liberal arts Catholic university in the Jesuit tradition. Jesuit education is world-renowned for providing holistic development to the mind, body, and spirit. Gonzaga promises 4 key outcomes in our Jesuit education: academic excellence, the development of contemplatives in action, ethical leaders, and people who are for and with others. You will notice throughout this presentation that the development comes from both the academics and student affairs. As a starting point, our core curriculum is an essential foundation for delivering holistic education, as all of our students take courses in composition, literature, speech, philosophy, religious studies, math, science, and social justice. This core develops skills in critical thinking, writing, and public speaking, while also helping students better understand the world and how to make a difference within it.
If you've yet to visit, we're located in Spokane, Washington, the second largest city in the state. Campus is 154 acres along the beautiful Spokane River, across the water from the downtown city area, which is about a half a mile walking or driving. Furthermore, the Spokane International Airport is about a 15-minute drive from campus, and your GU ID doubles as your bus pass for the Spokane Transit Authority to help you get around. In the city, we have a vibrant scene that includes great restaurants, coffee places, shopping, concerts, minor league sports, nightlife, and really great theater. There are just over 700,000 people in the metro area, and there's a lot of support for the Zags everywhere. It's a great place to access internships and jobs while in college, and students build resumes during their college years in Spokane and really take those experiences to other cities after graduation. There are 4 distinct seasons in Spokane, and there's a lot of variety in the activities that you get to do throughout the year. So all around us are amazing outdoor recreation opportunities with hiking and mountain biking minutes from campus, and 5 ski resorts within a 2-hour drive.
So diving deeper into academics, we are a medium-sized university with about 5,000 undergraduate students. There are 5 schools students can study under, and they offer over 75 academic programs. We challenge students, but with a lot of support. With the average class size of 21 and a student-to-faculty ratio of 11:1, we are able to offer personal attention in the classroom. In fact, Gonzaga faculty are ranked number 12 in the nation for best undergraduate teaching. In addition, the university is ranked in the top 100 colleges and universities nationwide. We have happy students with 94% continuing at GU after their first year, and this is one of the strongest retention rates in higher education.
Sorry, there was a mute button issue. In alphabetical order, the first school students can study under is the College of Arts and Sciences. This covers everything from applied math to writing, and even our newest major, neuroscience. And it is our largest school. Jesuits believe in learning by doing, and you will find that tradition alive and well at Gonzaga. In the College of Arts and Sciences, there are vast opportunities to do research in the sciences and social sciences. Students in integrated media have their own TV station, podcast channel, a newspaper, and there are multiple literary magazines. For students studying music, dance, and theater, the Myrtle Woldson Performing Arts Center is your state-of-the-art performance space. Now, please note, any Gonzaga student can be involved in the performing arts, even if you do not study them as a major or a minor. Uniquely, we have a partnership with the University of Washington to deliver medical school in our region, with Gonzaga delivering the coursework and UW managing the clinical placements. This helps provide a rich environment for the health sciences on campus, with research, mentoring programs, and professors who work with undergraduates and med students. The Medical Health Education and Innovation Center, the name of the building, opened in the summer of 2022 and is a 90,000 square foot building and the home of the University of Washington School of Medicine, Gonzaga University Health Partnership. The next school is the School of Business Administration, ranked in the top 20% nationally with a top 4% accounting program. There are 2 tracks in this school, business administration and accounting, and both offer 5th-year master's degree programs. A student in business administration gets a broad business background while tailoring their degree by studying one of 10 concentrations in their interests. There's time to study more than one concentration, which many of our business students do. There are also 8 minors available to students majoring in programs in other schools. For example, a theater major may do a minor in digital marketing. The next school is the School of Education. We offer majors in special education, kinesiology and physical education, sport management, community, culture, and language, and credential programs for elementary and secondary education. Students have field placements all 4 years in various schools and classrooms so that they can apply and practice theory as they learn it at Gonzaga. Sport management students are required to complete 2 internships before they graduate, providing great experience in school and professional athletics. The 4th school is the School of Engineering and Applied Science, a top 6% school for programs with master's as the highest degree available. We offer computer science, data science, and civil, computer, electrical, biomedical, and mechanical engineering, as well as engineering management, which is a combination of engineering and business with the option to pursue that 5th-year Master's of Business Administration degree. All of the programs are hands-on with design projects and opportunities for research. The state-of-the-art John and Joan Belier Family Center for Integrated Science and Engineering, once again, a long name for a building, allows for collaborative research and projects between the sciences and engineering and computer science. And the final school is that of health sciences. Our new program in public health provides our students with skills in communication, writing, research, and project management. The nursing program is direct admission, and students apply as seniors in high school. Healthcare is hands down the #1 industry in Spokane, and students do 6 rotations of clinical placements in junior and senior years, working one-on-one with nurses. Our students have had great success, marked by a 94% first-time pass rate on the NCLEX exam last year. Human physiology, as another program in the School of Health Sciences, is a deep dive into one organism, the human body. The focus is on anatomy, physiology, kinesiology, and students are required to do research projects. The major is great on its own, and is also a really popular choice for students who are on the pre-med or pre-physical therapy tracks.
So a special feature of a Gonzaga education is the ability to study abroad. We are ranked number 11 nationally for percentage of students who study abroad. The majority of students go during their junior year, but some are able to study abroad in the spring of their sophomore year. Our flagship program is our campus in Florence, Italy, but we offer over 60 programs in over 40 different countries. All Gonzaga-sponsored programs are the same tuition as Gonzaga in Spokane, and financial aid follows students to abroad programs during the academic school year. Uniquely, student life at Gonzaga also greatly contributes to the holistic educational experience, and our next section of the presentation is going to further describe student life and development. So let's start with the residential experience. Gonzaga is well known for having a vibrant, caring, friendly community that turns into a second home. With 82% of students from over 200 miles away, 49% from out of state, and over 40 countries represented in our student body, the requirement to live in Gonzaga housing for the first 2 years is really important. There is intentional community development in residence life through programming and activities. We also offer living learning communities, which provide students the opportunity to live with people who have similar interests and goals. For example, outdoor pursuits for students interested in outdoor recreation, or Learns to Lead for students interested in leadership development. The LLCs, except for our transfer experience community, do require a separate application, and the deadline to submit those is June 1. So for more information, you can see the URL on the screen, gonzaga.edu/LLC.
And this building is the Hemmingson University Center, one of the most popular, most used buildings on campus. It's designed for community development and engagement with a lot of space for hanging out and studying. There's also variety in dining options from the Cog. It's our all-you-can-eat dining hall, to the Bulldog restaurant, to Starbucks, the second highest grossing Starbucks in the state of Washington. It's ridiculous. This building allows student involvement and leadership, weekend social events, dining, faith development, global engagement, and more, many other options, all underneath one single roof. While we provide great challenge in our academics at GU, we do so really with a lot of support. The safety and well-being of Zags is very important. Physical safety is maintained by campus security and a proactive emergency system called Zag Alert. The students also have access to a safety app on their phone and a health center for physical and mental health, with physicians, nurses, psychiatrists, and counselors available. Gonzaga offers extensive programming outside of the classroom for holistic development, as well as support for academics, faith development, health, identity, the transition into college, and much more.
An important area of support to highlight is that of diversity, inclusion, community, and equity. The Unity Multicultural Education Center and the Lincoln LGBTQ+ Resource Center offer educational programming, mentoring, support for students from historically underrepresented backgrounds, and a place of community and celebration. We have multiple multicultural clubs that help students come together in shared culture. Some of the special events coordinated by these clubs are the International Student Union and Black Student Union dinners, the Hawaii Pacific Islander Club Luau, and the Latin American Students Union Festival. Part of the Gonzaga mission statement is developing students for lives of leadership and service for the common good. We see that reflected in leadership development throughout campus. There are over 800 student leadership positions. Additionally, there are specific programs for leadership studies, including the Comprehensive Leadership Program, or CLP, the Payne Experiential Leadership Institute, or ELI, and the Hogan Entrepreneurial Leadership Program. ELI is available to all interested students, and CLP and Hogan require an application process in the first month of a student's first year. Students are also actively engaged in serving others, particularly within the Spokane community, although there are opportunities for community engagement around the nation during winter and spring breaks. There are also global opportunities during the summer breaks, and as a result, students complete over 80,000 hours of service each year, and we have received recognition for our work from both the Carnegie Foundation and the Peace Corps.
The academic excellence, development of leadership, ethics, critical thinking, and being people for others really translates into great preparation for the future. The first destination survey conducted by Career and Professional Development, CPD, reported a 95% success rate for the class of 2022, meaning they were employed in graduate school, or both, or in a long-term service program like the Peace Corps within 6 months of graduation. The CPD also coordinates a lot of programming to help students prepare for life after Gonzaga. These include employment fairs on campus, mentoring programs with Gonzaga alumni, help with resumes and cover letter writing, and more. Unique programs offered are our treks. They're excursions in various cities to meet with alumni at their workplaces, attend networking events and employment fairs, and learn about specific fields of work. We have treks in Seattle, Portland, the Bay Area, and the rest of Silicon Valley, Los Angeles, Denver, Spokane, New York City, and London. What's extra exciting is this fantastic holistic education is at a school with tremendous school spirit. The success of our men and women's basketball programs created a foundation for school spirit, but honestly, we get excited about every win on campus, wherever that win is coming from. We like to look for ways that we can celebrate each other's accomplishments. Many people say "Go Zags" in passing or sign their email with "Go Zags." If you like Gonzaga basketball and you would love to have seats close to the floor and even have your face on ESPN, being a student is the best way to get tickets, because tickets are free for students. Our students aren't just spectators, though. Many students love to play intramurals like volleyball or inter-tube basketball, club sports, where they often travel and compete against other schools as well, run on the 37-mile Centennial Trail on the south side of campus. And that Centennial Trail actually goes far. It goes all the way into Idaho. Or there are also many amazing outdoor activities and working out in our fitness center to stay healthy. Really, one of the goals of many students is to earn an intramural champion t-shirt by the time they graduate.
So hey everyone, Sarah from Financial Aid. Just first and foremost, I would like to sort of apologize on behalf of kind of just the financial aid process and the delays that have been created this year with the FAFSA application. And thank you for bearing with us. We recognize that affordability is a top concern for families, and just our sincerest apologies about how the timeline is delayed this year. So first, we wanted to let you know that we created a way for students to request a financial aid estimate. There's a QR code on the screen, and we will put a link in the chat as well. I'd encourage you to do this in the next day or two. It's pretty quick. It shouldn't take a whole lot of time, and estimates completed by Friday should have their estimated financial aid offer within, for sure within a couple weeks, probably more like within a week. And it's important to us to communicate the affordability, just so you know, you can understand the value and the great value in higher education that Gonzaga has been for many years. And that's in part due to the funding offered through the financial aid process, as well as the quality of education. So if you filed a FAFSA, you should receive an official financial aid offer as soon as we possibly can, likely mid-April. But that timeline is a little bit out of our control, but we're working as fast as we can to expedite that process. The next thing I want to highlight is the Gonzaga guarantee. Aid from Gonzaga, both scholarship and grant funding, is guaranteed until the student finishes their undergraduate studies. We call it a 4-year guarantee. That's just easier to say than until the end of undergraduate studies, but really rest assured that if you are making progress towards your degree, you will have your grants and scholarships follow you throughout. Students do have to maintain good academic standing, which is a cumulative 2.0 GPA. Most of our students do much, much better than that. We like to keep things predictable and not have students stress about money. Another important thing to know about the FAFSA process is that it's going to ask for prior year family financial information, which would be based on the 2022 tax filing data. And if you've had changes in your financial situation since then, such as a loss of job or reduction in hours or your income fluctuates, we recommend filing a special conditions appeal form. We should have that process launched here in the next week or two. And there's also a spot to indicate that you've had a change of circumstances in the estimated financial aid offer. Next up, just to address some frequently asked questions is, yes, we absolutely recommend that you apply for outside scholarships. We find that most students who receive outside scholarships get them from connections they have in their community, either clubs or other activities that they've been a part of, either are currently a part of or were a part of growing up. Each year, Gonzaga students bring in an impressive $2 to $3 million in outside scholarships. So they are for sure out there, and the best place to look is within your own community. Another important thing to know is that very rarely would it impact your financial aid offer. So we don't often have to reduce, really hardly ever would we have to reduce a financial aid award based on outside scholarship dollars. So you can rest assured that if you are to receive a financial aid scholarship, it's not going to impact your financial aid offer that Gonzaga is offering you. And then the last thing I'll highlight is work study and student employment. We encourage students to take on a work study job while in college. It's usually around 10 to 15 hours per week, and there are lots of benefits to working. There's the obvious one of earning a paycheck, but it's also a really nice way for students to have connections with university staff. We know when students are sick, we attempt to connect them with resources that they might need, either in their academics or in their social life, and we can also celebrate their birthdays. So it's another way to sort of stay invested, do some career exploration about what you do and don't like in the workplace, as well as earn a little bit of extra spending money.
Thank you, Sarah. Now, as we look at this slide, you received in your acceptance packet a checklist that looks just like this. It will guide you until you make a college decision. A lot of information and resources are also available at gonzaga.edu/accepted. We'll put that in the chat. To connect you with fellow accepted students, we strongly encourage joining Zeme. It's a private app where you can chat with each other and some current Zags. And in the meantime, check your email regularly. And sometimes you might need to check your spam junk. Sometimes we're told that an email will go in there. Students may fill out the housing application and apply to the living learning communities before committing to Gonzaga. The application is in your application portal where you found your electronic admission decision. Now, if you choose Gonzaga, the Office of Academic Advising and Assistance, AAA, will register you for your first semester of classes. First-year students fill out an academic interest survey, and AAA will build schedules over the summer. The academic interest survey will be available starting in April as students confirm their enrollment. Final schedules are released in early August. For students who will have credit from AP or IB exams or college credit from programs like Running Start or dual enrollment, those credits will be added to your account over the summer in time for registration to be finalized. Please be sure to have scores and college transcripts sent to Gonzaga. Transfer students will also be asked to submit the academic interest survey, and schedules are available within a couple of weeks of the survey submission. Finally, please mark your calendar for the new student orientation sessions in the summer. Summer sessions run July 14th through July 30th with 5 two-day sessions to choose from. Keep an eye on your Zag mail for registration information. Early deposits will be able to register beginning in March. Registration for new student orientation becomes available as you confirm your enrollment and commit to GU. We're also offering a few extended orientation programs. Goob allows students to have an outdoor adventure together while building community. Bridge is a fantastic program for BIPOC and first-generation college students to build community and get situated in college before classes start. Bridge also includes a year-long student mentoring program. Embark is a first-year retreat to help students come together in faith-based reflection and community.
So a great way to stay connected to and learn more about the Gonzaga community is through visiting campus and hearing from our students and faculty. Our best program for accepted students is Gonzaga Experience Live Day, or GEL Day, on April 13th. It's a treasured Gonzaga tradition and includes an academic fair, sample classes, campus tours, club fair, fun evening activities with current Zags, and a separate parent and guardian program. So for more details and to register, you can go to gonzaga.edu/gel, which we'll also put in the chat. If you can't visit for GEL on April 13th, please know that we have daily visits and preview days throughout the spring. We would love to see you on campus on the day that's most convenient for you. You can take a campus tour, attend an information session, meet with faculty, and even attend a class. All of our campus visit information can be found at gonzaga.edu/visit. You can also use that QR code. We offer a variety of virtual opportunities to experience life at Gonzaga. You can meet with faculty or staff over Zoom, hear from our admission counselors in weekly information sessions, and in the coming weeks, we have several in-depth virtual programs such as the webinars on this slide. To register for any of these options, you can go to gonzaga.edu/zagvisit, which again, we'll put in the chat. So thank you so much for your attention during this presentation, and I know that the Q&A was kind of buzzing, so I'm going to hand it over to Sandra and Aaron. Is there anything that Steve and I should answer out loud before we turn it over to our student panel?
I am scrolling through to see if there's any that would be helpful answered out loud, or if it would be helpful for you all to just jump in and answer some questions. I think most of the questions are fairly specific. So as we transition, if you all would be able to go in and type out some answers to questions, I think that'd be super helpful.
Awesome, sounds good. So we'll go ahead and keep answering those questions, but now we'll transition over to Sandra and some of our current students to begin the student panel, and we'll start with introductions.
Awesome. Thank you, Alexa. So student ambassadors, those of you that are here, if you would please turn on your cameras. I'm going to kind of get us started here. So hi, everyone. Like I said, my name's Sandra. One of the joys of my work is getting to supervise our student ambassadors. A handful of them are here with us this evening. So Ambies, I am going to have you introduce yourselves, and I will kind of go down the line in terms of who I see on the screen and let you know who I'm calling on next for intros. When you introduce yourself, if you could please give us your name, what year you are at Gonzaga, what you're studying, and what your hometown is. And so we will start with Jenna.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Sandra. Hi, my name is Jenna Sarikaku. I am originally from Oahu, Hawaii, and I am a senior nursing major at Gonzaga currently.
Thanks, Jenna. And we'll go to Lucia.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lucia. I'm a junior. I'm a double major in public relations and religious studies with 2 minors in leadership studies and dance. And I'm from Marin County, California, so just across the Golden Gate Bridge, but I went to high school in San Francisco, so San Francisco.
Thanks, Lucia. Quinn.
Hi, everyone. I'm Quinn. I'm a senior from Minneapolis, Minnesota, studying political science with minors in business and leadership studies.
And Max.
Hi, my name is Max Reyes. I use she, her pronouns. I'm originally from North Seattle, Washington, and I'm double majoring in English and education, and I have a minor in leadership studies as well.
And Katie.
Hi everyone, I'm Katie. I'm a sophomore originally from San Diego, California, and I'm studying business administration with a concentration in operations and supply chain management, and I have a minor in entrepreneurial leadership through Hogan.
Wonderful. Thanks, everyone. So I've got some questions to get us started, but for those of you that are here joining us today, please feel free to put questions that you have for our students here in the Q&A, and I will kind of try to moderate us through as many of those as we can. Just know if you have a question that doesn't get answered, or if after tonight you would like some additional information or you'd like to connect with a current student, we'll put some information in the chat for how you can reach out to our office to request a virtual meeting with a student ambassador, try to get you connected to someone in your major, things like that. So to start us off, would a couple of you lovely ambassadors tell me about your favorite class that you've taken at Gonzaga and what made it your favorite class? Anyone? Yeah, go ahead, Max.
Okay, my favorite class I've taken at Gonzaga is called Leadership and Storytelling, and it is literally a class on how to tell good stories and be a great communicator, both on paper and like in person. And it's a semester long. It's offered in the spring. I think Quinn's taking it right now. But it's just a really amazing class, and I think that the way it's taught is very interpersonal, and you get to know the people in the class. And I always tell people that are wanting to take it, like, you're going to leave that class knowing how somebody's grandma died, but not knowing their favorite color. It's so cool and so beautiful and so unique. And I don't think I'd be able to take this class at any other college that I was applying to at the time, because this is through the School of Leadership Studies. But what's beautiful about this class is that you don't have to be in the CLP program or minor to take it. So that's definitely my favorite class at Gonzaga.
Awesome. Thank you. Anyone else want to chime in? Yeah, go ahead, Quinn.
Yes, I echo Max's point. Leadership and storytelling is so awesome. I also love to talk about on all my tours. I share a course I took last fall called Religion and Violence, and it was a part of the core curriculum, and it fulfilled my, I think it's like world and comparative religion, but the course was so interesting. It centered around, we studied like 3 major conflicts involving faith, which was ISIS and Catholic sexual abuse, and then Hindu nationalism. And it was so interesting. You definitely didn't need any faith background to excel in it, but it also, I come from faith background and have been able to like enrich that experience at Gonzaga, and I found it to be really enriching to my own faith. The professor, Dr. Shevland, is so smart, and it was so cool to learn from him. We like even read some of his own work, and also the discussions in the course were just so cool. So definitely recommend the course if you end up at Gonzaga.
Awesome. Thanks, y'all. So we're starting to get some questions in the Q&A. So for the sake of making sure we get to those, I want to start there. And then Jenna, if we have some time, we'll come back and get to your favorite class, I promise. So let's start off. We've got some questions about housing. So I'm going to try to combine a few things here. What is the most common housing situation for first-year students? Did your residence hall have air conditioning? And if any of you were in LLCs, if you want to talk about that as well.
Yeah, I can hop on this one. I was in Coughlin. I absolutely loved my LLC. I was in global citizenship, and it was absolutely amazing. I think at Gonzaga, the RAs do an amazing job at building that community, like right off the bat with meetings and little get-togethers, and it's really like open arms invitation. I don't remember if I had AC actually. I think did I? I don't remember actually. But common for freshmen is to have the traditional style where one other person you live with, and then a shared common space and bathroom as well. And I think this is really intentional for students to get to know each other, and then again, really building that community and emphasizing that, well, because at Gonzaga, you live on campus your first and second year. So already like they really encourage you getting to know who you live next to, keeping your door open, like saying hi in the mornings when you're using the bathroom, and like, doing your homework in the common area. So yeah.
Anyone else want to chime in about something about first year living arrangements? Anything
I
to
can
add?
also jump on
Yeah.
this one a little bit. I lived in a little bit of a different hall. I lived in Dillon Hall, which is actually a suite style residence hall. And this was because I was part of the LLC for honors students. And it was a little bit different. You kind of entered the front door into a little hallway common area, and then there was 3 rooms within that. So me and 6 girls shared a full bath and a half bath, as well as a little common space. And living in the honors LLC was something I really enjoyed. Just living around all my peers that I was having classes with, especially the first semester of your first year as an honor student. You're kind of with all the same students, which is really exciting. So to be in that collaborative living space was also really cool. And I know for a fact I did not have air conditioning, but heating is what you need most of the year, and all the residence halls are equipped with that. So
Thanks, Katie. Quinn, what part of Minneapolis are you from?
I'm from Minneapolis. I went to school in St. Louis Park, but yeah, from the city.
Cool, thank you. Are any of you non-religious? And if so, did you find that to be at all a barrier?
I can talk a little bit. I definitely grew up in faith, and then as you get older and you become an adult, you can think for yourself. So I definitely am still taking a little walk in what I believe is true. I really don't think that that's a issue or a barrier for me at this university. I feel like most people are very accepting and welcoming of the person that you are, no matter, how you identify as. So I have not found it to be any barrier or issue for me. If anything, this university has provided me the resources to really be able to explore that kind of part of myself.
Thanks, Jenna. Anyone else want to chime in on that one?
I'm a religious studies major, so I take quite a bit of religion classes at Gonzaga. I myself am Catholic, but I think that the classes really encourage you to be inquisitive and to be thoughtful and to be curious and to really be that the Jesuit saying is contemplative in action. So really, how can you use what you're learning? And it doesn't mean that you have to believe it or you have to follow it, but how can you bring some of these teachings out into the world? There are also just so many different kinds of theologians that practice and study and do their research at Gonzaga. So you have a wide range of classes that you can take that aren't just Catholic Christian based.
Thanks, all. Okay, our next question is for those of you who are doing double majors, how do you feel the experience has been? And do you have any advice for balancing both while still remaining active in the more social parts of the Gonzaga community? Max, I know your situation is technically a major and a certification, but credit-wise, super similar. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, I totally can. I think my biggest piece of advice for going about double majoring, and I'm putting air quotes around mine because in the ed program, you don't actually get a degree in education, you get a teaching certificate, which enables you to teach whatever grade levels or content area you're going for. So for me, it's English, and then ed is my teaching cert, but it's about the same amount of credits as a major. And I think my biggest piece of advice, if you're gonna major in more than one area, is you really gotta love what you do and really be passionate about it and know what you want to do with it in the future, have some kind of inkling, because it is a lot of work. And with my minor as well that I'm in with Quinn too, it's a lot. It's a lot in terms of workload and having that balance. But I do love being a part of like leadership studies and then the School of Ed and then being an English major, because these are, I think, parts of the academic world that I feel like I really come to life and flourish in. And so being able to having the privilege to study that at Gonzaga is really exciting, but you really need to love what you do. And I won't lie, I did have to take some summer classes so I didn't overload on credits and burn out. And you just need to also keep in mind that you're a student first and foremost. So again, like academics for me personally have always come first, but that doesn't mean throw away like self-care or any of that. Find a way to do academics and self-care at the same time, you know, put a face mask on while you do homework. Jenna and I were actually, we lived in Dillon our sophomore year. So there were ways in which we would combine self-care work and then academics at the same time. So if you're interested in double majoring, highly recommend, go for it. But again, do it if you really love it and are really committed.
Thanks, Max. And Max is very involved on campus. She kind of didn't score that as much as she is, but she's pretty involved on campus. She does a lot. Okay, wondering what course workload and how much time you spend studying per class. I know it differs per class, trying to understand if it's more work rigor than at a larger school. So can y'all talk a little bit about kind of what your kind of time split is there?
I'll start. I noticed like there's a couple nursing majors in this chat, and I wish I knew more about this coming into like university, but I want to make it a point that as a nursing major, you can still get 8 hours of sleep a night and have a social life and still do well in your academics. I want to stress that it is possible. When thinking about like how much time I spend on classwork versus every other extracurricular in my life at Gonzaga, I think it's just about being intentional about how you study. I definitely, as a senior, I definitely have to go to the hospital at least twice a week, and basically work this like job. And doing that can definitely be rough when you're also still taking exams and being a student in the classroom. So I like to definitely take my time, like with my clinical days, like that is strictly for clinical and going to the hospital. But when you come home, you take care of yourself first. And then maybe before you go to bed, review some things. But I think it's about being able to balance and scheduling out like when you're going to do these things, because it's definitely like a lot of time needs to be put into this major for you to do well. It's a rigorous major, and it requires a lot of your time to do homework and study in order to do well and succeed. But if you have the time management skills, and just the work ethic to be able to push through, I promise it's really worth it and it's really fulfilling. And I have been able to manage being on board for a couple of clubs, as well as doing fine in my major and having time to do things for myself. So just going to stress that like time management, and you can do anything really.
Awesome. Thank you, Jenna. Okay, so the next question is, do you have any advice for social life at Gonzaga and getting involved when shy and neurodivergent? If that's something any of y'all can connect with and resonate with.
I think my biggest piece of advice is I know when I came into Gonzaga, it's really nerve-wracking to like lean in and dive into this community, because I know that everyone can seem very like, ooh, Gonzaga, and kind of in your face about it. But with that being said, there's so many different clubs on campus. I believe we have like 120 plus, almost 130 clubs. So like there's so many different kinds of personalities at Gonzaga. And so when you're in your orientation group, my advice would be, maybe step out of your comfort zone a little bit, but maybe be vulnerable also and say like, I'm maybe not the most chatty, and I bet someone in that group is going to resonate with your experience. Yeah, I think leaning into some discomfort, not to the point where, you're stressing yourself out that when you're at orientation, but the community really holds you here, as well as the adults. I was going to touch on something about academic advisors. It's like one of my, like, thank the Lord Gonzaga has academic advisors, because they've helped me through so much. And before you even come to Gonzaga, there's someone kind of like holding your hand a bit, getting your schedule ready. And like there also could be someone that could point you in a good direction if you're looking for more of an older mentor. And I'm a double major, and so I have two academic advisors, which is also really great because they help me through all my classwork. And then also if I just want to go to them to chat and check in, which is great. Yeah.
Thanks, Lucia. That's great. I really like this next question. Do you have any advice for first day activities, such as meeting roommates, unpacking, cleaning? If you kind of put yourself back in your shoes of when you moved to Gonzaga. I know some of y'all moved to Gonzaga in 2020 when campus was a little different than it is now. But if you can kind of think about maybe what you did or what you would do if you were kind of starting your first day of your first year again. Yeah, go ahead, Max.
I can speak to this really quick. I moved in my spring semester of my freshman year just because I was a COVID high school class, started college during COVID. It was kind of miserable, but coming onto campus, I remember very distinctly my first night going to the COG with some of the other spring arrivals. And we had like never stepped foot on campus before, aside from like some of us who had toured, but it was really interesting because I remember it being really dark at the time and it was like winter, but just like really finding time to socialize with like your roommate or your suite mates or your apartment mates, whoever you're going to be living with, or the initial friends you make. I feel like there's no harm in going to the COG together. I feel like a lot of people have a lot of great bonding experiences at the COG. Me personally, I can never go to the COG alone. So I will latch on to anybody I go to the COG with because it's quite the experience. And then something I really wish I had done is I wish I had found the buildings in which my classes were going to be in, because I remember getting my schedule and the first day of classes, and I was late to almost all of them because I didn't know where the heck I was going. And it was so embarrassing walking into class late. So buddy up, find people that might be in the same core classes as you, or ask them to go with you, because not only will you find your classes, you'll get to know campus a little bit better. That's just a general recommendation.
Anyone else want to add anything on that question? Okay. Next question we have is, how receptive is the community for unpopular opinions religiously and politically, both in classes and day to day? If any of y'all have had classes, and we've got some poli-sci, some religious studies, anyone had classes that's kind of been productive discussions, things like that, how you kind of navigated that? When I'm kind of looking at you.
Yes, I was going to jump in here. I definitely have courses where you have more controversial discussions, and I would say that's like a great learning opportunity. You shouldn't be in a room full of people that agree with you all the time. It's not the most productive. And I would say, as far as like, I think I'm taking this more in a like class context, but unpopular opinions, I think if there's someone who has a differing opinion and they're explaining it in a respectful way and it's their point of view, I think usually people are pretty receptive to that. But I also think if there's something where it's harmful to another student or a group of people in the room, that definitely, I honestly like don't really have any experience with that, but I think if that was to come out, that would be like kind of shut down and dealt with. But overall, I'd say it's very productive, and disagreement or just conversation and differences of opinions, I think, are welcome and definitely something that are needed on college campuses and like leads to more productive citizens and leaders later on.
Thanks, Quinn. Anyone else want to add anything there before we move forward? Okay. Another housing residence life question. What is the personality of the different residence halls, louder ones, quieter, kind of in between? Don't all take it all at once.
I can take this. I lived in Coglan my freshman year, as Lucia talked about, and I was on the leadership floor. I loved it. I think I found like a group of people that's very similar to me, like-minded interests. And overall, I found like I loved the 2-year on-campus housing requirement. I think that's something that I always make a point of saying in my tour, because I didn't really know anything about that coming into college. You don't really think about it, but I think living in a dorm and on campus is so fun, and you like don't really get a community like that ever again. Um, but I would say overall, like Coughlin and CM are definitely known. That's St. Catherine and Monica, right next door. Those are two of the biggest freshman dorms, and I think they're definitely known to be a little more social and outgoing. Whereas I think like Madonna is located right next to them, and Welch are two other popular ones that can sometimes be maybe a little quieter if you kind of are like needing to go to bed earlier. But overall, I would say there definitely are personalities to each dorm. And especially with like LLCs, like if you're living in the outdoor pursuits community in Marion, you'll be with a bunch of people who are involved in the outdoors. But one thing I do really like about Gonzaga is while each dorm has its personality, I didn't feel like I have some friends who are at state schools and they're like, if you're in the wrong dorm, like it's over. You're like, those are the people you're going to meet. You're on a completely different side of campus. And it just is like so different. But everything at Gonzaga is so closely located that your dorm will like affect your experience for sure. But it also is not the end all be all. And you will meet a lot of people that don't live with you. So I found that to be comforting to hear when I was deciding on a dorm.
Awesome. Thank you, Quinn. Okay, I'm excited about this one because it was one of my topics I wanted to make sure we got to. Study abroad. Have any of you studied abroad? What were your thoughts, experiences? What was that like? Lucia, you just got back, so.
Yeah, I just got back. So it's very popular for your junior year of Gonzaga to go abroad. I was abroad in Florence. I had one of the like best months of my life, seriously. My we were with 30 Loyola Marymount students and then about like 150 Gonzaga students, couple Marquette, couple USF. But it was awesome. When I didn't think I fully realized that Gonzaga actually has like a campus in Florence, like Gonzaga, like the name, and like you see it everywhere, and it's just so interesting to like translate that to Florence, which is amazing. Really easy to register for classes. You're required to take Italian, which I'm really glad that I got the chance to. And then I'm going abroad again this summer. CLP has a program in Zambia, Africa, and so I'll be going there this summer from May 15th to June 15th. So I kind of got my travel bug. So I'm going again. Very different program, but study abroad, the department's just been absolutely amazing, helping me so much with making sure that I graduate on time and understanding culture shock and how to balance that. And then also just having like in Gonzaga and Florence, the staff and faculty are absolutely amazing. And the community aspect really like travels from Spokane to Florence, which is amazing.
Awesome. Thanks, you all. We are at the point where I need to pass it back to Alexa to make sure that we stay on track. We got through most questions. If more keep trickling in, my colleagues and I will keep answering them. But ambassadors, thank you so much for giving us some time this evening. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. And I'll see some of you this Friday at Preview Day.
Yes, huge thank you to our current students for dedicating their time and answering some of those questions. I know we don't always have time to get to all of them, but please know that we're always available should you have any questions. Please always feel free to reach out to your admission counselor, and maybe we'll put in the chat real quick a link to find out who the contact is for your area and who you can ask any questions for, and we can always get you connected with other students. But another great tradition here at Gonzaga and through our accepted student receptions is, of course, a Zags swag giveaway. And so on the screen now, you will see our lucky random winners of some Zag t-shirts. So if your name is on this list, please message through the chat our hosts and panelists your preferred t-shirt size, and we will be sure to get those in the mail. So congratulations. Again, we do need the t-shirt size to get that in the mail to you for a GU t-shirt. But thank you all for joining us for this evening's event and to learn more about Gonzaga. Congratulations, of course, on your acceptance. We are so excited to welcome you to our Zag family. And if you have any further questions or need additional information, again, please contact the Office of Admission. Sandra, I believe, has already put the link in the chat to find your admission counselor. We are always here to support you throughout your journey and throughout your college decision. So thank you again, and please stay connected. For those of you that are one of our winners, will hang on just for a minute or two more so that we can get all of your t-shirt sizes. But for the rest of you, we hope you have a great and wonderful evening.